for example, like I quit smoking recently, and it's like once I have that, dopamine releaser out of my life, I could see myself, being more and more on my phone, because that kind of fulfills the same purpose.
Yeah.
So it's like,
trading one addiction for
yeah,
another.
yeah, very much like that, very much like that. And the question is, how do we live a life without addiction? Maybe that's not even possible. We all have our own addictions. The question is maybe to try to find addictions which are more healthy. I don't know.
Do you really feel like that, like trading one addiction for another? I never like I had a teacher tell me like
Yeah.
a quote like that, like the sum of all the like summan av alla laster
Yeah,
är densamma.
the sum of all, like, I'd say like
Cargo.
Yeah.
Is the same. So a
Yeah.
ship can carry a certain amount of weight, I guess.
Yeah.
And you can fill it with what you want, but it's gonna carry the same weight.
Yeah.
So meaning that we're gonna have the same amount of
Yeah.
drugs in our life. It doesn't really matter what. But I don't know if I agree with that. Like,
Yeah.
but it seems like you do. So maybe you can explain to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree necessarily, but it's just
Because
there-
you said that when you stopped
Yeah.
smoking, then you
switch
Yeah.
to social medias, or or I think I don't think we're doomed to live like this. I don't think we're doomed to jump from one addiction to another, but there is for sure, like a balance going on within our brain all the time.
Yeah.
And there's a certain equilibrium, and if we cut off one provider of pleasure or dopamine or short-term gratification, that equilibrium is disrupted. And I think it takes a long time, probably. I think Anna Kelpke is like a psychiatrist and neuroscientist from Stanford. She said that if you were to do a dopamine fast, where you would cut off most of the identified.
Anna Lemke. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Anna Lemke, sorry. If you were to cut off most of the dopamine as a providing activities and objects in your life, it takes about 30 days. 30 days. So it's like it's a long process, I think. But so I wouldn't say that I'd necessarily like agree with that. That you're bound to jump from one addiction to another, but you're kind of predisposed to it if you cut off one thing. Like if you cut off smoking, then I have to be, for example, like adult media, for example, like pornography is also a big thing, that like I think is affecting especially men of today's society as well, because that's another, just like short-term gratifier, that really like it's an easy way to like just have short-term dopamine release, just like social media. It's just like smoking, just like drinking, just like nicotine or whatever. So yeah, just maybe just at least to be mindful, of the things that does affect, and the things in your life that does, create these spikes of dopamine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what do you think we should do? Like with do you think we should change the apps, or do you think like everybody should stop using social media? What do you hang out more in real life?
I think it's maybe I don't know. I don't feel like I'm in the position, to tell anyone how to do anything really, but maybe to find a higher purpose, maybe to find like something that you really like derive pleasure from long term, whatever that might be. If it's a relationship, if it's like learning a new language, if it's pursuing a new skill, whatever it might be, I think that really would undercut a lot of like the gains that we would get from these things, a lot of the gains that we would get from social media, from fast food, from nicotine, from caffeine, even whatever it might be, if we were to have like maybe a higher purpose, like a deeper meaning behind everything that we're doing, and I think that's
so kind of trading the artificial stimulus for a more natural,
yeah
feel the same.
I would say so. Yes.
Okay.
And I think happiness is, but like by and large, I think a product of a meaningful existence. To have a higher purpose. To have something that is bigger than yourself. I think that's one of that really is, like, for me at least, one of the most sure ways to achieve long-lasting happiness. To have goals in front of you that are achievable, and just achieving them. I don't know. It's really easy for me to say, but super hard to achieve, of course. But I think that's one of the ways that we can, bypass this like hijacking of our brain through of social media or short-term dopamine release. Yeah.
Well, I feel like the biggest problem with that is with social media is the friend part. Like, so if we can solve the friends and social aspects of our lives without them like destroying our quality of life, I think that would be very come a long ways in terms of a solution.
For sure. And I think I have to say it's kind of our use of social media does isolate us, paradoxically. It's supposed to make us come closer to each other, but it really just pulls us further apart. And I think especially for the two of us, living in Riga right now, in a country where we are, from the start already isolated, from society. I think
like not knowing the language and stuff.
Not knowing the language, really, not really understanding the cultural complexity of the culture maybe around us, not really feeling not really being integrated to society. I think there it's even more important that we strive to uphold a social context, whatever that might be. Doing a sport, playing an instrument, or joining a chess club, or whatever it might be. Because it's very easy that we cannot have substitutes our real social interactions with these fake. I say this, like really, and I mean it. Like these fake interactions that we have on social media, where we send memes to each other, and or text. It's like it doesn't compare to just like sitting face to face with someone and talking, or doing something together physically. So I don't know. This is some of the things that I've been thinking about maybe recently. Just with this.
I mean, this is obviously a very complex subject, and there's so many things to consider. But one other aspect is like just like you said, it's making us more alone, because for example, in Sweden, right, there's a lot of people living alone, the most in the world, single person households,
right?
And I think that wouldn't necessarily be the case if that wasn't feasible. But now you can successfully isolate yourself in your house, because you have all of these artificial means, like watching movies all the time, or watching YouTube and
ordering food, engaging in like romantic conquests, so to speak, like on Tinder or Grindr or whatever your preferences. It's also that also you don't even have to leave your house in order to like engage romantically, on the romantic scene. Everything that every single like need or desire that you might have, you can get it from the comfort of your home. And it's just maybe a little bit too comfortable. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Sure. I hope we find a solution eventually that we can still meet our friends and do more things in real life. I think the Jews, they have a Sabbath. On Sundays they don't have any technology at all. I'm very jealous of that.
Maybe that's also something you could maybe implement, just one day of the week on the weekend, no technology. Maybe start from there and see
then we're back to willpower and discipline. Like, that's never gonna happen.
Because we have the system set up against us.
It's like with candy, like I have a very my addictions are like sugar and video games, maybe pornography, and it's that's why I don't buy any sugar to my home, in almost any form, because if it's here,
Yeah.
going in my mouth.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. That's same. For
And
me.
same with video games. Like I've had Xboxes, and I've spent an enormous amount of time of my childhood on that.
Same.
And I have to sell them because I cannot have it in my house.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that clip of the HH podcast. If you want to see another clip, click here down to your left. And if you want to see the whole unedited episode, click down here to your right. And last but not least, if you want to subscribe, you can do so here in the middle. Thank you.